That's right. The thinker does support LGBT. Yeah. I know I've received many comments asking me what my stance on it is, because I'm a pretty thinky guy, and people would like to know my opinions on things. And currently, LGBTQ is very divisive. So, as the influential figure that I am, the thinker, I would like to say I do support LGBTQ. Let me grab a couple more things to sort of really keep, let's show up. And I'm feeling a bit change of pace. I had these rainbow glasses. These are the most rainbow glasses that I can find, but I also have these ones, so I could wear these too. How does that look? And also, to really, break the boundaries, I decided to wear a pink skirt. Just know this isn't my usual style, and I don't know how good it looks on me, but that's not good. Okay, I promise that's not. Here, put that back. Put the flag back. I don't have a good way to put the flag on the thing. Let's just hope it stays like that. But yeah, generally, I'm just very. God damn it. Okay, I'm just gonna hold it. But generally, I'm an ally, or an ally, as some would say, of LGBT. Sometimes I forget the acronym, but that's, I think that's the least of most of these people's worries. But I just want to tell a few anecdotes for this episode. This might be a little bit shorter of an episode. I also got noted to make my episode shorter. So, here you go. Something I do need to address, though, is there have been many tweets and videos resurfacing of me saying a specific word that's derogatory towards this community. I don't really know the best way to say it. All I can say is it rhymes with faggot. I didn't mean to say the word. I meant to say... Oh, God. Give me a second here. Oh, okay. So it looks like I have two things to apologize for. To address all the old stuff, I'm thinking a lot. However, in those moments, I was not thinking very hard at all. But now that I've really thought, now that I've taken the time to think, I know not to use that word anymore. Now, regarding what just happened, it was a fluke, and I promise, there's no excuse for it. I'm not going to say anything like, I have gay friends, I have gay lovers. No, I can't excuse that. So, I just want to come out and apologize for those two things. I hope that in the future, I can do things to show that this isn't just performative. I'm not just doing this for the views or anything. I genuinely care about this, and I'm gonna do my best to not slip again. I'll make sure to think harder before I talk. Now, I do want to get into a few anecdotes in hopes that, like, all of my gay viewers, transgender viewers, genderqueer viewers, the queer viewers, the queer viewers, the gender fluid viewers, the gender gas viewers, gender solid viewers, the cisgender viewers, maybe. I don't know if they're part of the thing. The ace viewers, kings viewers, the queens viewers, all the viewers. So, oh, I have another thing I can put. So, I have a couple stories. So, one was back in high school. There was this guy, right? And as I was growing up, we were pretty close, and we started to hit things off. Now, I got all the girls, let's just say, but for some reason, sorry, I got scared there for a second. For some reason, this guy felt really like naturally like connected, not in like a romantic way, but in like he just gets the girls, not like he gets them like they're fawning around him, but they're like they understand each other. And I noticed that. I understand that like they aren't flirting with each other. He's bros with the girls in the same way that I was bros with him. So I asked him, I was like, man, how do you do that? And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, wow. But the issue is, I started getting jealous, not of him, but of the girls. It felt like they had this bond that I really wanted to have with him. But I was straight. I was pretty sure I was straight. So I remember when we got to around I think this was 6 years after we graduated college. Yeah, it was a long time. I started asking, hey, would you want to try something out? And he was like, try what out? And I was like, I mean, I think you get what I'm saying. And he was like, I'm sorry, man, I'm not gay. And I was like, oh. That's the first story. So, but then there was another time while I was in college, where there was a guy, and he was so gay. He was 100% gay. No way in hell was he not gay. But I was straight. Just to clarify. Also, let me know in the comments, because I know that sometimes it's hard. Sometimes allies, they can have good hearts, but they tend to say things that may be mean or insensitive. Just let me know in the comments if this thinker says anything that's out of sync, But I remember, I met this guy, and he was just really cool. He was 100% gay. And the issue is, I was struggling to sort of get girls at the time. Because one, that wasn't my main goal. I majored in thinking. I majored in thinking in high school. In college. I got my bachelor's in thinking. And while I was at... I should probably mention the name of the university I went to. I went to Thinking University. Thinkman, Minnesota. Thinking University at Thinkman, Minnesota. And sorry. And I met this guy while I was at Thinking. Yeah, I met this guy at Thinking, and he was so gay. Sorry. How long has it been? 9 minutes? I'm sorry, man. But yeah. And I was like, I want to get to know this guy. So we talk for a bit. And we're just sort of we're good friends. And yeah, I remember he was so cool. He was so nice. And I remember we were in bed together. And we were so we just got done. We were in bed. We just got done an hour. I think we were we were just hanging out, playing video games, making out, watching sports, whatever. And I mentioned to him, "Yo, what are we?" And he was like, "I think we're a thing." Because he's pretty smart as well. You might have seen his content. Because he's a content creator as well. I don't talk to him very much. But, yeah. So, there's that. But unfortunately, after college, again, I kind of fell for the other guy. No, I'm straight though. I'm pretty straight though. And, yeah. Third story. I remember. No, you're not going to believe the name of the high school I went to. It was also in Thinkman. The name of the high school I went to was Thotmond. Thotmond High School in Thinkman, Minnesota. Right? And I remember meeting this girl, and she was pretty cool. And I remember when we were just hanging out, like, we were just chilling, and I think we were playing frisbee, and they were like, "Yo, do you know what pronouns are?" And I was like, I haven't thought about pronouns since before lunch started, because we had English together before lunch, so I didn't think about pronouns before English class. So she was like, well, they, and I was like, they, yeah, that's used for multiple people or one person if we don't know gender. And she was like, yeah, you do me a favor? And I was like, what? And then she was like, call me they. And I was like, what an interesting concept. No. And that's something I'm ashamed of. That's something I just want to clarify. That's something I'm ashamed of. Like, I don't, like, I would have called them they. Nowadays. Well, I'm going to retell the story. So, in high school, I went to, you're not going to believe the high school I went to. It was called Thotmond High School in Thinkman, Minnesota. And I was with this person. And they were really nice. They were really cool. And I remember we were playing frisbee, and they asked, hey, you know what pronouns are? And I was like, I haven't thought about pronouns since English class. Get it? Because basically we had English before we went to lunch. So I didn't really think about pronouns before English class. And they were like, yeah, you call me that? And I was like, no. My thinking was that you can't just choose. But as I matured, I've realized, it's their life, and it's not hurting me. It doesn't hurt me to call them they. And I see people make the argument, you can't make me do, it's fine if you do something, but you can't make me do it. And I was just like, is it really hard? Is it really that hard to get somebody, is it really hard to call somebody a different thing? I know I found it hard back in the day, because I just found it impossible. But nowadays, I'm like, it's so possible. It's so easy. Just swap the words. Maybe it'll take some getting used to. That's correct. But it's not that hard. And yeah, I guess it's making somebody do what they don't want to do. But why wouldn't you want to respect people? And maybe people argue, oh, it's an agenda. It's an agenda. Well, think about it like this. Like, if you were calling somebody, let's say somebody's name was Thinker, but you were calling them John. but their like legal name, birth name was Thinker. And hold on, sorry, this makes no sense. I wasn't thinking very hard. Let's say there's this person, and they were. Let me think about this some more. Okay, let's say you have a person, and their name was Thinker, but you're choosing to call them John. They don't want to be called John. Would you call them John, or would you call them Thinker? Because okay, hold on. Let me recollect this 1 second. You know, this shouldn't even be like an argument. It shouldn't. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. Like agenda. Are you serious? Are you kidding me? Like, what agenda is it really spreading to call somebody pronouns that they prefer to be called? Isn't that kind of silly? Because at the end of the day, these people aren't making you, like, you know, they aren't making you whatever you think they're going to make you do. And maybe you disagree with their views, but it's just, like, respect. It's just respect. Like, people use religion as well to sort of justify. And it's just like, again, I don't know much about religion. I haven't thought about that very much. But I feel like respect is a very basic thing. And I don't know. It's just not that hard. That's something that frustrates me nowadays. It's hard to just do the simplest of things because people think, oh, it's political, it's spreading an agenda, oh, the kids. When it's like, the only agenda that's really being spread is, hey, let's respect people. And they start to point out bad people in the bush. Like, oh, this transgender person touched people inappropriately. But then that bleeds out, and it's just used to disrespect and, like, give people excuses to disrespect. And I find that insane. I think Thinker thinks that is insane. Because I don't know, it's, at the end of the day, be who you want to be, and find people who will respect you for being who you want to be. If people are going to be like, oh no, blah, 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 you don't have to be around those people. And if you do have to be around those people, my advice would be, if you do have to be around these people who are really bad and really terrible and aren't considerate, and the unfortunate answer is you kind of have to suck it up, but I think it makes it better when you get to spend your time around people who do care and are able to help you through this sort of thing. I don't know. Maybe if I was gay, I would be better at this kind of advice, but unfortunately, I'm not gay. Not gay. But I'd want equal rights. Thank you guys. I'm the Thinker, signing out.